Today's topic, uh, I'll be talking about, and this is something I'll probably talk about ongoing. Um, well, with anything I talk about, it's ongoing. But you know, some people in this mind body space have different views about you know when to allow, when not to allow, how much to allow, and even I do. Right? I've been doing this is what got this was this the allowing method was the missing piece that got me to recovery. Without it, I wouldn't have. There's no fucking way. I would have kept being stuck, like I was, and I'm happy I was because it forced me to look for something that works, right? And I do believe that I've seen it there, that I think this is a small amount, but people that do brain retraining just by itself, I think what they're doing is they're managing. Sure, the symptoms, serenity now, insanity later, symptoms might be at bay, but it's almost like a remission, right? Your brain retraining to bypass and to just have a little bit of relief, but we want to get to the root. We want to be fully back to the default settings, to the blueprint, the design that you were meant to be. Are we ever going to get to that fully? Probably not, but we can get pretty fucking close, I'd say. And I think this is what I think. It's not so much that shit not good, this shit good, that shit no. My stuff's that like, I'll be honest, right? I'm very stubborn, right? And I know some of the ways I think aren't right, right? I know, but I don't care, right? The way I think it's my way's the best. The way I did it was the best. Everybody else was okay. It was okay, but the way I do it, you gotta do it my way. If you don't do it my way, right? I was like that with everything, with writing music, with right. Like my dad's bigger than your dad. My dad can beat up your dad, right? My soccer team is better than your soccer team. This band's awesome. That's a stupid band. They copied this band. They can't, right? We write wicked songs. We're heavier than you guys, right? The Beatles were the best, right? So I'm still kind of like that, kind of the tourist, stubborn, right? And I know there's other ways that people can recover. There's many, and I'm trying not to be too rigid. I try to be open because I know for myself, there's a theory, and then there's their taken action, right? And they're different, right? You can learn the science, the theory, the program of any protocol, mind body protocol. But when you take action, I think it's similar, but it's totally different. Same but different, right? And you can only recognize that while you do it. You got to take action. You got to start, right? You got to start and just do and find out and make the mistakes, right? I'm strict, but I'm strict in different ways, right? I'm strict. Of course, I'm biased. I think I'm strict in the right areas. In some areas, I'm stubborn. Sure. Um, but like things like doing the pillars, right? I tell people you got to do it every day. Never miss a day, right? You can't. You got to fucking be motivated. You can't, right? Sit on the fence. You got to do it every day. Never, ever, ever miss a day, right? And that might sound strict. That might sound pretty crazy, and it was. I was hard on myself, and I think that's a good trait to have. I was, comparing myself to others. I was creating timelines. I was breaking all the rules. But these things, sure, they gave me more symptoms. They elevated my survival state. Things got worse, but they paid off in the long run. That's my experience. And I think it makes sense, right? But there's some things where, like, for instance, I had a routine, a strict routine, and the routine was there to serve me, right? Routine schedule. And I know a lot of people get all fucked up about the schedule, right? They get all right, and it's like it's not supposed to be. You're not supposed. I don't understand. Like because it's like the perfectionist. Like, if I don't do the schedule, then I can't recover. That means I'm stuck forever. I failed. I will not recover. I will. And I try to remind people, I was the worst at every fucking pillar. I was the worst at visuals, the worst at allowing. I did it all wrong constantly, right? And I fucking did it. I recovered with confidence, busted through the fucking walls of recovery. Right? Right? And you will too. You will too. So there's rules in place, but when you take action, you're gonna find there's a massive gray area, right? There's the rules, and then there's this massive gray area. It's not so black and white. So for me, I had for my routine, it was there to serve me. And the way I did it, I had a big calendar, something I could see the whole month. Pretty big calendar. Where is it? Of course, I never have it here. And I had a shit ton of post-it notes. So this routine was there to serve me so that I would do the work every day and never miss a day. So there, you got me. I'm fucking strict. Yes, you got me, right? But the routine itself, I think it all depends. This is why I say it serves you, not you. You don't serve the schedule. The schedule serves you, so that you're accountable and you stick to so that you're successful and doing all the pillars every day. So I had to be prepared, right? That's another pillar. Being prepared is really huge. So I'm kind of, I started with one topic. Now I'm, whatever, right? Being prepared is really huge. And it helps you be successful, because when you're in this space, right, you're in the thick of it. You got all these thousands of symptoms, right? You got derealization, depersonalization, multiple chemical sensitivity, mast cell activation syndrome. I think we're getting close to the shadow area of a retrograde, because I'm starting to stumble on my words, right? And then you're dealing with dizziness, OCD looping thoughts, anxiety, pelvic floor pain, digestive issues, all the gut issues, right? You don't look in the toilet. You don't do that, right? So you're constantly being hijacked. Your brain's constantly being hijacked. So how do you, right? You're lost at sea, right? You're lost at sea. You're pissing in the wind. You're right? Your thoughts are just like, you can't just live life. You need some sort of direction, focus, right? To walk on that path. Here, walk on this. Hey, where you going? No, walk on this path. No, where you go? Where you go? Right? That's why we have the routine. And every routine schedule serves every person totally differently. How? Well, for example, my routine served me best when it was blocks of time. Ish. So my routine was a lot of ish in it. Routine-ish. A lot of ish. Right? If it didn't have ish, it wouldn't be serving me anymore. Right? And some people need that. So for me, I'll give you a shitty, kind of vague example. So I had my calendar. Every day was Groundhog Day. Pretty much. And you know what? Believe it or not, 9 times out of 10, even though I wasn't so strict on the minute by minute of my routine schedule, it just kind of happened that it ended up being like that. Right? It just kind of worked out. I was like, yesterday I did my visuals. I started at 8:30 and I was done at 10. Okay, today I started at 8:20. I was done at 10 again. Right? So kind of works out that way. But it doesn't, it wasn't something that I was thinking about. But for somebody, right, who's bedridden, right, like somebody with CFS, like Sam, for example, she needed a strict, extreme schedule, right? Because, if you just turned your head too much, right? If you peeled an orange, you were fucked for a week, right? That was like her, right? She was very extreme. So you need something to serve you in a way where it's like, okay, 7:05 in the morning till 7 08, tilt your head 75 degrees this way. And if, okay, that was 74 degrees. Start over again. Starting over Wednesday. Like, it was almost, that's how shit detailed some people's schedule need to be. That's how it serves you. Do you see what I mean? Now, for me, if I had a schedule that was minute by minute, right? Totally like a fucking, like a blueprint, all that would first of all traumatize me. Second of all, overwhelm me because I'm already dealing with 1,000 symptoms, right? Third of all, did I say overwhelm me? It would overwhelm me because I think I wouldn't be able to accomplish everything. If I didn't accomplish everything, I would feel like I'm failing. And right, and then what? I got to do this for 3 years? Yeah, fucking right. So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit. It's not supposed to fit. It's not supposed. It doesn't. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm gonna make these size 7 shoes fit me, but it doesn't suit me. It doesn't make any sense, right? That doesn't. So you got to have something that suits you. So for me, I would get up in the morning, make a bed. I always made the bed. Do I make the bed now? I should. I don't. I used to. That was my routine. Wake up, make the bed, listen to a Daily Dare, take a shower, walk the dog. I was woke up at 7, out the door at 8, walk the dog. It was quiet. It was, it was happy. 8:30, I started to do visual. 9 o'clock, I was doing the visuals. 9 o'clock-ish, 9 a.m., doing visuals till like 10:30. I used to like taking my time because I would have a meeting with myself, right? I'd have, my drink there, right? I'd be like, okay, let's get cozy. I'll be parked somewhere where there was a trail, right? I'd see the snow. I'd be like, oh man, it's so beautiful. Even though I'm dealing with these impending doom thoughts, but I feel safe here. I feel safe in my car. Nobody's around. No loud noises. All you hear is just the light and a blue jay crying. I used to love my Blue Jays, right? And I'm like, all right. So like 20 minutes, I was dicking around, right? I got to do my best. Okay, I gotta, right? I knew what I was gonna do it on, but I'd have a meeting with myself, make sure that everything was okay. Everything's good. I feel organized, right? For me, I need to be organized. Without being organized, it's like I can't work like this. So it took me a little bit. You sit there, you dick around for a half an hour. We're human. People do that. Okay, focus. Let's get to the visuals. As soon as I pressed record, it was counted as a visual right away. Right? Even if I was dicking around, I was lenient about myself. I was like, you just got to do. You just got to do, right? We're half-assed. That's okay, but we're doing it. Technically, I pressed record. I'm sitting here. Sure, technically, I'm not really, right? And then the visuals, I wasn't really good at them. I was just getting constantly sidetracked with the feelings, and I can't I can't focus, but I did it anyway. That was good enough because I took action. I just started. That's all you got to do. Just start, be consistent every day. So that was done around 10-ish, 10:30-ish, sometimes 11. If I had a nice flow, I'd do 2-hour visual. So whatever. My goal, okay, 10-ish, I'm done. Let's go do my walk and talk, right? 2-hour walk and talk, come home, right? Or go shopping. Buy some stuff for lunch, have lunch, chop the vegetables or whatever I'm eating, do a do-si-do, listen to music, have an elevating session while I'm cooking, and then it's time to do another walk and talk for an hour, come back, right? Around dinner time, you have your dinner, you walk the dog, and then you have your elevating session for an hour at, 6 o'clock-ish, right? And that worked for me every day. Every day. I never missed a day. So that was a really good routine schedule because I never missed a day, ever. And I enjoyed it. Not in the beginning. I couldn't do any of the pillars in the beginning. Forget it. But I started. I took action. I showed up every day. And then eventually I expanded my training zone. All of a sudden I'm walking 10 kilometers a day. All of a sudden I'm doing this and that and the other. Right? So it served me. When I had any sort of special meeting or I had to pick my mom to do this or that, or because I always looked for excuses to do extra things. So to keep me engaged throughout the day, because sometimes it's difficult to fill up your day in the beginning, but you figure it out, right? I would have my post-it notes. And I would, today I'm like, oh yeah, I got to go at 2 o'clock when I usually do a walk and talk, I got to go do this thing. So I'd write it down. Okay, this is what time you got to do it. Slap it on my calendar. And I'd go, okay, usually I do my walk and talk here. What I'll do is I'll do that appointment or walk or drive my mom to get whatever. And then I'll make up for it at 3:30. And I'll, you move things around. That's why it's there to show you where can you move things around. Well, let me look at my routine schedule here. I know every day is Groundhog Day. It's pretty much the same shit. So I could probably do it right here without even going. But I look at my calendar. It says, yeah, you usually go and do this. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to move this here and move that there. It's serving me. So I'm organized and I don't miss any of the work. And I continue. And tomorrow, it's going to be like every other day. Right? But you have these days that pop up that are good to pop up because it's not being, we like to be familiar with the daily routine because it gives safety. But when things change last minute or things are a little bit disorganized or things are a little bit not too predictable, that's also good to have because it gives you an opportunity. You get activated. Change is good, right? It kind of activates the nervous system a little bit, but we let it do its thing, and then we engage and we get back to our safety routine. So it's good to be a little bit off here and there. That's what I found. So, right. So the conversation led to, right, how, yes, I'm very strict about certain things because I did the work every day. And I think it's something that you need to do. And that's something I needed to do. And I found a way to have the routine serve me. And it wasn't something that was scary. I don't even know how that happened. Right? It wasn't supposed to be something that's like, oh fuck, right? So maybe this will give you a little bit of reassurance and view it in a different light. And try it again. Have it serve you. You're the one because at the end of the day, this is a self-directed, right? This is all self-directed, and you got to take what I teach and apply it to yours. You're the mindful gardener. This is your life. You're the one that's got to take the bull by the horns, right? At the end of the day, right? So whatever serves you is good. You take what I teach and you apply it, but make sure you do it every day. That's it. You figure it out. It's up to you. And also certain people have certain obstacles in the way, certain situations, right? I've dealt with a lot. I can generally give advice about it, but some things I haven't dealt with, and this is where you got to figure it out. I don't have 6 kids. I have 1 kid. Some people, they have 6 kids. They can't go to blah, 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 and I got a job, and I got to do this, and I got to blah, blah. Okay, well, figure it out. Figure it out, man. This is you. This is your movie. I can't answer all the questions. I can maybe give ideas. But that doesn't work either. See, because I see it, so that's why. Well, then you fucking figure it out. You gotta. Because if you don't, this is you. It's not going to affect me. It's going to affect you. Right? So sometimes people want to, they want to say their case. So they go, see, this is why it's difficult. Hear me now. And people go, yeah, I can see that's hard. But you gotta fucking do something about that. Right? So sometimes you want to milk it a little bit so that people see that it's not, it's not your fault. We know it's not. I know it's not. If it's not my fault, right? Life threw us fucking curveballs. We're here. I used to do that too. I used to milk it when my mom came by. And how you feeling? Right? I was having a good day and I would just fucking milk it and go, oh, fuck it. I got this. Right? I'd sabotage myself. So snap out of it. Stop speaking danger while you're in the danger. You got to be aware of your behavior patterns. Have it serve you. Right? I guess we're going to do a bunch of topics today. Vaguely. And I'll do more concentrated videos. How about that? I think that's fair. Okay, we'll do that. So I've seen in the mind-body space some people talking about issues with the routine. I think it. I just covered it. Issues with allowing. When do you allow? When is it too much? And there's, that's a big topic actually. For me, it's I needed to implement the allowing right away. I think it's vital, right? I think everything has its place when you put them together at the right timing and stages, right? So I don't have any problems with brain retraining. I think it's fucking awesome. But I think there's elements that you can take out, fucking throw them away. Elements that you keep, structure, right? The brain. This is legit shit. This is really fucking. This is shit. This is good shit. But there's things I don't like and things I like. So I take the fucking things I don't like. They're all the fluff, all the wasted time, right? All the Macarena dancing, right? I take that shit out. Get to the point. Take the things that I like, right? That are gold, that are powerful, that are relevant, that are important, that work, right? And then I add in sprinkle of this, sprinkle of that, and I adjust some things, right? You add the allowing in, you add all the pillars, you add the things that work, and then together it supports itself, and it's powerful, amazing, huge, right? And I do make fun of brain retraining because some of the things where they use a lot of resistance, a lot of avoidance, a lot of distraction. They say your limbic system's impaired. They they rely too heavily on neuroplasticity. It's kind of like, well, that happens as a consequence anyway. When you do the work, you don't have to worry about neural pathways because you're just micromanaging all the systems, right? When you do the work, the brain figures that out. You don't have to figure that out. So get out of the way. Stop wasting so much time focusing on neural pathways, and let's get to the root and focus on doing more of that. So there's the allowing. So the allow method, I think it's just sounds like a big thing, but it's just like something that's been missed. So I talk about it a lot. But I think that some people make it seem like, well, it's the everything. Like, yes, it's very powerful. Yes, when you know about it, it does serve you in so many ways in your life, not just fucking symptoms, right? You literally create your reality, right? It's magical. But it's one of many things that work together, that support each other. That's when it moves mountains. And it's important that, and I like to say to people, don't just fucking do the allowing, 8 hours a day and expect things to shift, right? It's not enough. It's not going to cut it. And also the amount of allowing, right? For me, it was 3 to 5 minutes. In the beginning, it was 10 minutes because I was learning, so it was a longer process. The learning process, you do things a little slower, longer. The more I did things, eventually it got quicker and shorter. Eventually, I could allow within 10 seconds, right? And then you move on, just like, a Facebook feed. You see something you like, yeah, that was done. You see something you don't like, you scroll on. How long did that take? A couple of seconds? 30 seconds max, right? In the beginning, 10 minutes I was doing sometimes, because I had to learn shit. But the sweet spot, I thought, was 3 minutes to allow something, and then you got to fucking move on and follow all the other pillars. And having allowing, in the beginning of your journey, I think is necessary, right? Along with the brain retraining pillars, along with, doing your walk and talks and everything together. In the beginning, it's important. And I've heard some people say, you shouldn't do it, it's overwhelming, right? Well, here's the thing. Resisting, avoiding, distraction, right? What you resist persists, right? And if some people, they wouldn't be saying that if they felt OCD looping thoughts or had a relentless 3 months of just one anxiety attack, or you're pacing in a room trying to figure out your thoughts and make them go away, the intrusive thoughts, so OCD looping, the constant looping thought that just won't fucking go away. And it's not just a, random thought. This is like your scariest, demonic fucking nightmare repeating, and you're reliving it constantly. Like post-traumatic stress times fucking, with the looping of it. Right? So you can't resist that, because this is what happens. When you start to resist or avoid a thought, it multiplies. It gets bigger and bigger. And and your whole room is just plastered with this, you poison the well. So you ever tried that? This is what happened to me in the beginning. I would get an anxiety attack or a thought or a sensation or a symptom. I'd try to avoid it, ignore it before, and then it started poisoning the well. All of a sudden, my steering wheel reminded me of the thing. All of a sudden, pillows triggered me. Everything became a trigger because I was avoiding it. And the brain had to get your attention because it's thinking that you're going to die because there's a liger there. It's got to find a way to break through. It finds a way, and it does break through. But you suffer more because of it. So instead, work with it. Work with the system. Tell it, okay. I'm acknowledging. I see you. Okay, fuck it. What's the message? What's the message? Show me the fear. Show it to me. Okay, one drop. Listen to me. For everybody, one drop at a time. Right? Okay, that's intense. I don't like it. But without doing that, you still don't like it. It's actually even worse. The charge is still there either way, so you might as well do it the right way. So you allow it, you let it process, you dissolve that energy, you move on. And you might as well start right away, because this shit takes time. And there's a learning curve. You gotta learn, which takes time. So you gotta fuck it up a bunch of times until you get it. Right? So what you resist persists. If you want your whole world to be a trigger, keep ignoring it. Keep putting it on the shelf. So, and the thing is with allowing stuff, you're still in the driver's seat, right? Sure, I always say work with what the brain sends you on a plate, right? It sends you a bunch of shit on the plate, right? Bunch of stuff right here, right? Like, okay, I'm going to allow. We got like 80 symptoms, all of us. We got all these crazy thoughts. We get, 75,000 thoughts a day. You got plenty of supply for you to allow. So if there's something that's just too heavy duty, right? Maybe here. Maybe this right here is just fucking rocking your world. You can't. Oh, man. You can either do, right, just a little, okay, I'm not going to push you away. I see you. I acknowledge you. That's good enough. Even if you don't want to do that, if you want to go, you know what, just put you to the side here with the Brussels sprouts that I'm not going to eat, right? And I'm going to allow the shit out of this. The knee pain, the eye floaters, right? The other intrusive thoughts. I'm going to allow the shit out of this. I'm going to start with the low-hanging fruit. And just keep this on the side for now. I'll get you when I get you. Right? Because, all the thoughts, all the symptoms, they're never going to be easygoing softballs. It's always supposed to be intense. Your thought that you're looping on will always be the scariest shit in the world for that minute, right? It has to be. How else would it get your attention? How else, right? So you might as well start now. Yeah, start with the low-hanging fruit. But even the low-hanging fruit will feel fucking intense. So do your best. Allow what you can, the amount that you can, right? This is where you're kind of in charge. As long as you're allowing the best that you can, it's like learning a bike. I can give somebody shit for not learning the bike fast enough, for not learning how to ride a bike. There's training wheels, and I'm like, dude, you got fucking training wheels. How you still fucking this shit up? You keep falling on your face. You got to put the handlebars like this, not like this, right? And you got to fucking look straight. Pay attention, right? I could say that, but if it doesn't click right away, then it's a different learning curve, right? That's okay. But they're doing it every day. They're doing it, and eventually they're going to be riding the bike. So I think it's very vital to have the allowing as a part of your journey, because we don't want to fill up our allostatic load too much, because it's already, right? It's already full. It's overflowing. The more you avoid shit, the more you're wasting time, the more you're filling this up. Right? This is the reason why we're here. This is the whole fucking reason why we're here. Because we've been bypassing, suppressing. The shadow is just busted through. It needs to be integrated, dissolved, and felt right here. Or in your tummy, or in your, wherever you feel it. For me, it was here in my neck. Right? It needs to happen. It's fucking time. That's why it's screaming. If this wasn't an issue, you wouldn't have these alarms screaming at you at all. It wouldn't be a problem. So why defer what you're supposed to do? Because why? Because you get activated when you allow? You're already activated, and you're going to keep getting more activated if you don't allow. So yes, let's talk about that. The whole point of allowing is you will get activated because you're opening that door. What's behind that door? The old programming, the shit that needs to be felt. So we open it. Okay, what do you got? And you as soon as, because it's exposure to something that you fear, right? That always becomes your target. If you want to work through something, right? The fear, that's what you got to get through to get to the other side and to accomplish what you need. That's the answer to everything. That's your target, right? Expose yourself to it. When you do, you change your response. You allow it to be there, which is changing the response by itself. Even if you don't respond, if you give it 0, if you just, right? It's nice to go, okay, don't white knuckle, don't survive through it. Maybe send a message of safety, smile, embrace it, ask for more. That's nice. But not all of us can do that right away. Even if you give it fucking 0 and just allow, that's plenty. That's enough. That's all you ever need. Right? If you stand there and you sit in that fire energy, right? Imagine you're sitting in that fear, just sitting in it. I see you. I acknowledge you. I'm picturing you coming through my chest. I'm picturing you dissolve. I feel you. You're integrating. That's all you need. That's it. Right? So I think it's very important that we do implement allowing. And this is where it can get not so good with allowing. Because there is, of course, like with anything, if you do it wrong, right? It's good to find out, right? If you sit there and allow this thought for 3 hours straight about your shoulder pain, you're literally pouring gasoline on the fire, and before you know it, this is an issue. And I always talk about this. Because it's happened to me many times, right? Of course, when we do the work, we get activated. When we start to allow, we do get activated, and we work through it. But if you're opening that door, right, we get activated. But for a small amount of time, we close the door. When we open the door, we close the door. Throughout the day, right, 200 to 500 times a day, we're opening and closing in that fucking door. Because when you close it, the activation can fucking calm down a little bit. We just, we activate the nervous system. We just poke it a little bit. Poke it, right? A little bit of a spark, a little fire, right? We don't want to have a full-blown fucking building on fire. We don't want Hiroshima on a building. We don't want a fucking, right? We don't want melting lava everywhere. No, it's a controlled fire. It's a set fire. It's a controlled activation. That's smart. That's what we do. Controlled activation. So, right, you allow a little bit, and then you engage. So don't. Actually, do. Sit there and find out, man. This is how you learn everything. You find out for yourself and you tweak it. So when you're sitting there, and you by accident, because you think, oh fuck, I'm gonna allow everything because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do any other work. I'm just gonna allow. Because I want to be enabled not to do any other work, because doing more work just means I gotta open up more cans of worms, and it's just too much for me. It's overwhelming and it's triggering me. Right? That's probably why most of the people only do allowing. And then some of these people will sit there and they'll allow something for 3 hours, and then before you know it, you're ruminating. Right? Because you're not aware. Before you know it, you're researching, right? Is that the sound? Right? You're fucking analyzing. You didn't even know how the fuck you got there. You're researching, you're Googling, you're going down these fucking rabbit holes. You're second guessing. The doubt comes in and fucking destroys everything. Because it'll win. Right? The winning factor, you're head to head with the doubt. Okay, we're doing good. It's supposed to beat you. It has to. This is why we have a routine. So the odds are less. So you're on top. When you have a routine, you're on top. You're allowing the doubt, of course. We allow the hey, you're allowed to be here, boy. You're allowed to be. Yeah, but I'm gonna go, right? But if you sit there and allow something for 3 hours, forget about it. The Liger wins. The doubt wins. You're a bitch to the doubt. We're a bitch to the doubt anyway. But this is delays. You're not moving forward. You're activating so much that there's a fucking bonfire in floor 3. Fuck the room. That room's fucked. No, the whole floor is on fucking fire. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is why the sweet spot, 3 to 5 minutes tops. And then you gotta fucking move on. That's why I always say, you gotta engage. ENGAGE. I always think there's a D, but there's no D in engage. And why would I think there's a D in engage? I don't know. So, yes, that's where allowing can be a big problem. Right? Even visualizations, it can be a big problem if you don't speak it out. Because before you know it, this is why I couldn't do meditations. Because I get sucked into the fucking rumination, and I was doing a lot of resistance trying to quiet my thoughts. That's like the last thing you want to do. Right? A lot of meditations force you to quiet your mind. Right? And try to resist it. No, that thought, don't have the thought. Redirect, don't have that thought. It's quiet. Stop the, right? When you're in a state of fight or flight, yeah, once you're recovered, it's fucking powerful. But before that, you're pouring gasoline on the fire. Because you're constantly resisting. What you resist persists. You become a target for it to hijack you, and it will win. Before you know it, you're ruminating while you're having a meditation. Your stress level goes up. Well, that's the opposite of what a meditation is supposed to do. Right? You're revving yourself. You're literally meditation stressorcising. There's probably a better word for that. You're revving yourself up when you're supposed to do the opposite. So this is why visualizations, which is another pillar, is so powerful, because you put the brain to work. You work with the flow of it, right? The flow of it. Okay, there's all these thoughts going on. They're all constantly hijacking. Go, yeah. We're gonna put it to work. We're putting it to work. We're going with the flow of the traffic, right? We're going with the flow of the traffic with the visualizations, and then we're gonna bring it here, and we're gonna add some shit to it, sprinkle some fucking dose in there, so it starts to, the traffic slows down, the fire slows down eventually. In time, you get into a rhythm and a flow. It doesn't hijack you all the time, constantly, right? The survival state comes down and it calms down naturally. You're letting it calm down naturally, and this is where it becomes powerful. And here's a list of all the things that visualizations do. When before, right, if you're trying to stop the tsunami and you're constantly crashing, or you're trying to stop the traffic, right, you're going against it, you're going to have a big fucking crash, right? But eventually, when you work with it, you go with the flow of the traffic, you put the brain to work, you give it something to do, right? If you tell it, no, shut up, no, shut up, don't say anything, no, shut up, so it's going to be... It's gonna be telling you shit constantly. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You can't tell it to stop. It's got a mission. It's gonna fucking win. It has to. So we go, okay, we're gonna put you to work. You're revved up. You're activated. We're gonna use that energy to keep you focused, working, to keep you engaged, and put you into good use to bring that survival state down. Isn't that brilliant? Because if you weren't in this state, then you don't need to do that. But we are in this state. We got 1,000 thoughts happening at the same time. That's hijacking you constantly getting activated. So put the brain to work. Put the brain to work to give it dose to bring that survival state down, to start tuning into your higher self slowly. It takes time. That gate is closed, right? We got to start working on that gate to allow it so you get the downloads, you get the synchronicities. Right, and this is where the list comes in. Right, here's the list. Some of the things, right? right? It's a form of exposure, right? Because when you start doing your visuals, it's going to send you all the resistance in the world. Good. We need that. We need to allow that. So the visuals is also a way to bait and open up the gate. The shadow comes up. Good. Fucking right. And we're allowers now. So the more you allow, the brain goes, okay, we can send them more shit. Right? You literally, you get downloads, you get you tune into yourself. Right? So you get the clarity, golden nuggets of clarity. Like I said, when you allow, it starts to open the gate. So the shadow comes, so you can bait it to work. You have a meeting with yourself. So you're organized. You have a plan. You move forward. Right? Which is really important. You're prepared. You put the brain to work, because if it's in a state of fight or flight, right? This is why we put it to work. And we're also using it for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins to bring that survival state down, which is a thing. It is a real thing, right? It's 1,000 amounts of hours of science involved in this. This is probably the most sciencey thing that can ever exist in science. Probably not. But there's a fucking shitload of science in that, right? They've studied this shit with the brain, right? Any fucking sports athlete, right? Some of the biggest minds in the world, they use visuals. Billionaires, they use visuals. A lot of health gurus out there, most of them. This shit's been known for a long time, right? It's not a surprise. Sometimes people like to go against the grain and poo-poo on visuals because it's so traditional, and it's cool to go against the tradition, mainstream, right? Just like it's cool to shit on brain retraining when it has a lot of powerful things in it. So bringing that survival state down, elevating powerful shit. We're already doing the allowing. We're already doing that. So we got our bases covered. So when you elevate, it does 1,000%. Nobody on this planet can tell me different. And if they do, they're fucking wrong. It brings the survival state down over time. You're constantly sending messages of safety. Constantly. Elevating. Dancing. Right? When you're doing this, it fucking brings you down to zero. Allowing. Takes that energy, lets it dissolve. It calms down, brings it down to zero. Visualizations. You're putting the brain to work, right? To sit in the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins to bring this down to zero. It moves the fucking needle. You got like 4,000 hours of moving that needle. You're crushing it. You're fucking crushing it. This shit works. It's a thing. It's credible. It has its own powerful category that's just as important. Maybe not as much as allowing, but that's why they're put together into one. So when people want to poo-poo on that shit, they're wrong, right? They're wrong. And it's sometimes it's cool to go against trends, right? Or things that are the norm, right? Just like fashion, music, right? When there's a song that's fucking timeless, it's timeless. But then some people go, "Yeah, that's shit. That was so 1970s." I'm like, yeah, fuck. So what? It's truth. It still works. It's such a fad. It's just a buzzword right now. It's just a buzzword. That's true. There's a lot of shit that comes and goes. It's just garbage. But there's shit that's timeless, and the proof is in the pudding, right? So you can't deny shit. And the thing is, some of these people that are denying shit and talking shit about allowing, and some of it I already addressed, so that we figured it out. Talking shit about the allowing, visuals, elevating, how it doesn't work, how you shouldn't, blah, 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 they poo-poo on it. First of all, I'm more willing to listen to people that have gone through it, overcame, then I'm going, oh, why do you feel like that? Oh, I could see. I know what you mean. But you know what? When you see that, that's a true problem. But you know what? The reason why that's a problem is because the person's doing this and this. So you just change that, and then it's not a problem, right? There's always a resolution. But if they haven't fucking been through it, right? Out the fucking window you go. Yeah. Right? I can't even. I got so much other shit to do. I don't have time. Right? So, and And normally that's what I do. I just like, yeah, whatever. You're wrong. But when you get emails and comments and people being triggered and their life falls apart because they're holding on to this hope because they finally have the answer, that pisses me off because it's bullshit. Alrighty. So I'm just gonna say hi to some people. My dogs are dying to go for a walk. And oh yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you guys notice. I'm trying to experiment with different reels, 3-minute shorts, motivational stuff. I'm getting a new camera, so better footage, better everything. In the future, we're going to be doing probably in 6 months from now sound bath stuff. What else? Allow meditations, 7-minute. What was it? Visualizations. There's not too many people that are helping with a bit, and I always wanted to. I always want to, right? But my visualizations are kind of, there's a lot of swearing in it. It's kind of, you don't want to be in my head. It's kind of, it's funny. It's kind of like, okay, this is actually activating me. This guy's right, but there needs to be visualizations out there to help people do them, because in the beginning it's a roadblock. I get it. So I want to provide that for people, and I'm still learning. So some of the shit that I might release might be weird, or crusty, or rusty, or whatever. Bear with me. This is how I improve. So, all right, guys, let's say hi to some people. Lisa, good to see ya. Oh, we got a lot of people in the chat. Oh, we got a lot of. All right, yippee, Lisa, catching live. I love this heroic tribe. Yeah, you know what? I do notice that there's a great group that supports each other. A lot of people are making fucking lifelong friends. Love it. Fern, good to see you. Singing Tree, greetings. This stream, this topic is about all kinds of shit. The scheduling, how it's important, the routine, how it's there to serve you, you're not there to serve it. How allowing is vital, how visuals and elevating have their place, and brain retraining has its place, and how there's science sprinkled all around that, how it's legit, how it's a real thing. And the proof is in the pudding, of course. Okay. Let's see. My dogs are barking like crazy. Just give me a second. I want to say hi to some people, but give me a second. I'm just going to check on them. And we're back. 3, 2. All right, we're good. Hey, Mathis. Luna. For some reason, it reminds me of Luna Matata. Tia, yes, psychological rigidity feels so limiting, but very hard to acknowledge and let go of. Right. So you have it there. It's there to serve you, right? Make your day. Fucking make sure that you do the work, and I could see how it could, because I think it also crosses the old shadow of perfectionism, because we know perfectionism fills up the allostatic load, and we don't want to be that, so we want to be the total opposite of that, right? So there's a fear of that. We don't want to be stuck. We don't want to be doing something wrong, because then we're going to be sick forever, because we don't want to be here forever, right? But what I noticed that, a lot of, you can still, here's the thing, you can still fully recover doing some of the things, old behavior patterns that you did that helped fill up the allostatic load. You can still get to a point where your symptoms 99% of them are gone because I was doing some of those things still. But this is where the deeper work, this is why I say it goes in stages. Just because you're doing like the people pleasing, right? Some of these other things, you still continue them. Doesn't mean you can't recover. You can still fucking recover. It's true. You can. This is why I think work on the nervous system, the physical parts of the symptoms, or, asleep, right? And then go deeper because you have the capacity to. Because before that, and some people don't have a choice. They got to do it. They got to do it all. But I think that most of us generally, right? You can do things in stages. I think that's, work smarter, not harder. I always fuck that up. I like easy, right? I like fucking easy. I want to get my life back. This is my job, right? This is what I do. This is what I teach. I can get you to stage 3 where you're fully recovered. And then if you want to do the deeper work, you'll be at a place where you can. You should, right? Some people don't want to. Like, fuck it, man. I don't, right? And don't forget, we're already allowing. That covers fucking 90% of everything anyway. You're fucking crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's. Oh, I actually said it right. Right? I usually say dotting all the T's. So, so the rigidity could be, right? It could make people feel like, shit, this is too rigid. I'm going to be a perfectionist. This is too overwhelming because of that. I don't want to be a perfectionist. Oh, I'm going to be sick forever. And that fear comes up. Good. The fear comes up there. You allow it. But aside from that, have it work for you and give yourself a permission slip to, not have it be too rigid as long as it's working for you. Right. But a lot of the perfectionist stuff that I was probably still doing, I doubled down on it. I was like, actually, this alarm, this whole behavior pattern that got me sick, I'm going to keep it going because I'm going to put it to good use, right? So being hard on myself, most people say, that's not a good idea. You shouldn't be, it's not so much that I was beating myself up. It was more that I was being very motivated and disciplined, which can be strenuous. And yeah, it was strenuous. And yeah, I probably got more symptoms because of it, but it paid off in the long run. Right? So some of these things that we're so used to, right? Perfectionist or a person that's go, 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 go. 9 times out of maybe 15, some of those elements could be put to good use to keep you on this journey. And then eventually, when you're ready, you pull back on them. You set boundaries. You stop doing them. You're aware of them, right? Because they might help you get across that bridge. Like I say, in the beginning, sometimes it's okay to keep surviving and white knuckling through the journey because you need it, right? The learning curve of allowing is like 90% white knuckling and the rest allowing just a little bit, right? 2 months later, maybe 6 months later, you're doing like 30% allowing and the rest is surviving. 2 years later, might be, maybe 1 year later, 50-50. Surviving, white knuckling, and then allowing, surrendering, right? That's realistic. That's what you could see. And then even near the end, I might be allowing only 60% and the rest is still, right? And I got there, right? And you're going to fucking get there. So I can understand, because I've been through it, how it can trigger us. Are you in DMT? Nope. No DMT. I'm too scared. I find it fascinating, but I'm too scared. It sounds strict, but I went on a bender Friday night and was too hungover rest of the weekend to do them. Not a good idea. Schedule all the way. Yeah. This is where, you got to really think about quitting smoking, quit the drinking, right? Because that puts a lot on your allostatic load. Right? Oh, we got some fucking trolls. Love it. I tell my son, Mommy just needs more time to let my body sort it out perfectly. Love it. So anyway, today was a bit of a longer one. Did I have a coach through recovery? I had a bunch of them. that I paid money for, a lot of money for, and believe it or not, they were not good. Some of them are well known, and they had no fucking idea what they're talking about, right? Um, and it's interesting. I got free advice from Simona, and because of her crossing her on the path, right? She set me. It was free advice. She gave me free advice, and I had to figure out everything else by myself. But it was still her going, try this way. Okay, right? And that was massive. I think the universe or your guides or your higher self puts people in certain right so that you meet them, walk, run into them, and they go, I'll try that over there. Okay, little fucking holy, oh my god, right? And then it all had to be right timing because all the coaches I had before, I still needed to see them, so I get the contrast of what doesn't work. Right? You gotta have the stepping stones, right? My brain feels like Tetris right now, and I'm not retraining anything. My experience is a lot different to the idea. It's almost miraculous. Closest experience I've ever had is pregnancy and growing a baby. Love it. Um, April says, hi, Nicole. Lisa says, excellent. Nicole says, yes, trust the body. It does it for us. That's so true. 1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000. 1,000,000%. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I'll probably say hi to a couple more people. Thanks for everybody for supporting and being a part of the community. Please like, share, and subscribe. Only 80% of my viewers are subscribed, so it would be massive to help the algorithm and bring the awareness to the mind-body space. Loving the new video clips, Helmut. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still learning, but I'm gonna do more of that. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to do a 3-minute little video like that. But it's fun. It's fun. So I'm gonna keep doing that. Just got done with visuals. A trip to Oregon, visiting the Japanese gardens. Yummy. Oregon, mountains, gardens. Beautiful, right? I love it. Keep it going, right? Choose your hard, choose your difficult. Good shit. Good shit. All right, guys. I am going to wrap it up. Okay, what else? I think that's we're good. I think we're good. Okay. A lot of people today. Really appreciate you guys. Please subscribe. Thank you, Tani. Hey, CB. Alrighty. I am out of here. Love to love you. Get out there and get uncomfortable. And please also join me